Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the Rectified Podcast. Today, my guest is Tamar Panossian, co founder of 57 Végan. Welcome, Tamar.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I'd love to hear all about 57 Végan. So, let's start with the story. How did you come up with the idea?
Sure. So I founded the company with my mom. At the time, my mom had a full Mediterranean restaurant where she was serving meat shawarma, chicken shish taouk, etc. And at that time, we're talking about a good 10 years ago. So we were changing our habits of eating. We were eating less and less meat, less and less chicken. And the only place we could go to get something vegetarian was Harvey's, the savior
Okay.
in our town of Laval. And we were sick of just eating Harvey's veggie burger when we were going out because every other restaurant had only, let's say, a salad or very limited options when it came to
Hmm.
vegetarian or vegan plate. And we
Yeah.
decided that because the trend of vegan was starting as well at that time, we decided that we were going to change the restaurant and turn it into a vegan restaurant, vegetarian in the beginning and then slowly vegan. And at the time, she also had the falafels on the menu. So we decided that we would come up with original recipes for the falafels and serve them in
Hmm.
different ways. For example, we had the Mexican burrito falafel with salsa and guacamole. And then we had the Greek
That's cool.
version with tzatziki sauce and onions. So we had a few different options. But soon enough, we said, okay, not everybody likes the falafel, and not everybody's gonna
Hmm.
come back the same week to have another falafel sandwich. So let's come up with other ideas of what we could serve. And as they say, the right people come into your life at the right time. And this sweet lady
Yeah.
came. She used to come here from Ontario, and she used to sell vegetable protein, soy based. And she introduced it to us, and we decided that we were going to try it. And sure enough, it was similar to the meats that we were doing. So we just marinated it and came up with vegan shawarma, vegan shish taouk, just by incorporating our
Hmm.
spices. And the rest was history. So in the beginning, we were called 57 cows. We switched it to 57 vegan because cows was representative of each falafel bowl. And since our menu had changed, we had to change our brand. So we called ourselves 57 Vegan, and the rest was history. We had a very small restaurant, and it grew in popularity. We were like the fast food, vegan, healthier option. And since the restaurant was very, very small, we had to come up with different ideas to get to a bigger crowd. And we decided, after 3 years of the restaurant business, we decided to try our luck. As we were walking in the grocery store one day, we noticed that in the ready to eat counter, there weren't any ready to eat vegan sandwiches. So we decided to just package our sandwich and try to knock on
Hmm.
grocery stores' doors and see if anyone was interested. And that's how we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. And today we see those sandwiches in Metro and IGN and all the stores here
Yeah.
in Quebec. It wasn't an easy road, I'm sure, to go from the restaurant to having your sandwiches in all the big stores here in the city.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I see a lot of people on social media, especially now on TikTok, talking about the getting rich quick or doing things quickly. And you're talking about a 10-year journey,
Yes.
which is why I want to talk more about this. Tell me about how, like, how do you go to be where you are today in all those years?
Yeah.
And what do you say to these people who want to get rich and
Um,
famous in
10 years
90
later,
days?
10 years later, we're not rich yet. So whatever their secret is, I hope they can tell me.
Yeah.
It took a long time. 10 years is seems like a long time, but when you're in the business, everything is moving so fast. Everything
Hmm.
has its own challenges. The challenges of the restaurant were different from the challenges we face today. For
Yeah.
example, to run a restaurant, we didn't have a social life. We had to be there from opening to close. You have to stay there. You
Yeah.
have to have employees, regardless of whether you have clients walking in or it's downtime. The preps are different. Everything is different for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
when you have a business where you have to prepare everything, have everything ready, get orders ahead of time, schedule logistics for the delivery. So everything had
Mm-hmm.
its own challenges we had to face. And of course, we had no experience whatsoever. My mom was running a restaurant for me, but I had no experience and I had to
Yeah.
quickly learn so that I could help adjust to everything. Um, Again, we thought that by closing the restaurant, we would have a social life, but we do not.
No.
We thought we would go home earlier. We do not. So it's a lot of different challenges at different steps of the business. And, there is
Yeah.
no secrets of getting rich fast.
I honestly, if these are these are not the people that we talk to, and every single guest that I have on this podcast, they always tell me about like how long it took,
Yeah,
and it's like at least 5 years or 10 year
yeah,
journeys. There's nothing that happens in 90 days,
exactly.
unless it's like a trend and and then it just fades away very
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
So yeah, this is it. How is it? How is it growing without having like the crazy amount of funds? Some brands, they have like somebody who gives them 20
yeah,
million, like a VC fund or an
yeah,
investor or something. And you have 20 million, you can do
yeah.
stuff. But knowing you, I know that you didn't have that funding. How is it growing a business and trying to do more and more and more with very limited funds, or having the cash
Yeah.
flow and all of that to take care of?
A lot of patience, a lot of tears, a lot of sweat. We had to fund a lot of things ourselves. And again, we're not rich. So it took a lot of
Yeah.
effort, a lot of learning on our own. Like the first thing we wanted to do, of course, is how do you get the brand out there? How do you get the name out there?
Hmm.
We had to learn how to market. We had to be on social
Yeah.
media. We had to create content. And with the cash flow issue, okay, I'm gonna jump into hiring a company to do my marketing, but they want, let's say, X amount of money every month, and
Hmm.
I jump into it. I say, okay, we're gonna do it, and the ROI, of course, it's not
Yeah.
right away. You have to wait for the results. But the first thing you pull out, no, we can't do the marketing anymore. You stop that, and then that has the effect.
Hmm.
You have to wear a lot of hats in the beginning, and I still do. I mean, I don't have
Yeah.
an accounting department, I don't have an HR department, I don't have a marketing department.
Yeah.
Graphic designer cousin who helped me very much from the beginning. And
Hmm.
that's how you have to manage it. The first priority goes to the ingredients, the payroll, because you need your staff to be happy to stay, and the rest you
Hmm.
learn how to do it on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally true. The thing is, all of those things like marketing or accounting and all those things that a business owner can feels that they can do it by themselves, they get cut first. um, it's it's yes and no. It's important to have it, but also if you can't pay your people, the people who are in the kitchen mainly
Yeah,
in your situation, then there will be no brand.
yeah,
So you really need to find the right balance between these two.
yes.
Speaking of marketing, tell us more about the marketing side of things. How do people find who you are? I know you do some social media, but what else you do? Just tell me more about that part.
So yeah, we do social media. We try to do contests with local other businesses. Of course, the presence in banners helped a lot. We are in all
Hmm.
the Apple stores and all the toe stores, some IGAs, some Berries, and we just went and knocked on a lot of doors. But the main big accounts we got was with the help of our distributor. In
Hmm.
the beginning, it was just us knocking on doors. We saw that we weren't going to get too far like that. And we couldn't ship our products because it's refrigerated. So there's a limit of
Yeah.
where you could ship, and the
Hmm.
costs of that too. So we had to work with a distributor who had a large network and could get our products in the right places.
Hmm.
Other than that, we have a
I.
website too. So I called it
Hmm.
Végan.com. And during COVID, we decided to do an online grocery store, marché57.com, which provided local small businesses the opportunity of posting their products on our website, and we took care of the delivery and everything. Because we saw that a lot of small businesses don't have a website or online store where people could go and shop. And when the stores closed, everything was limited. So we needed to help out each other in the community.
Yeah.
And after COVID, I closed it down because it took a lot of effort, but I am revamping it because I missed it a lot.
Yeah.
I missed the crazy.
Yeah. I remember that one. It was a really good idea. And you had like a lot of I used to follow, everything that's going on your social media, and everybody was home,
Yeah.
and you were delivering to even like remote areas in Quebec, and it was very difficult to find all those vegan products from the smaller businesses here in the country. So that was really nice. I remember it very well.
What was the
Um,
challenge too?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, of course. I remember, not I remember. You're the second person who talked about working with a distributor. The other guest was in Ontario, and you're in Quebec, and her brand managed to be in all of those, so everything that's in Ontario, not Avril, not,
Yeah.
the local ones, but like the things that are in the other provinces. How difficult is it? Like, is it important to be with these distributors? Does it make your life easier? I know all the retail stores, they have like very specific requirements about packaging and I don't know, even barcodes or whatever it is that they want.
Yeah.
Do they make your life easier, or is it just to help you go in these stores?
So in the beginning, they didn't want to do the sandwich deliveries because my sandwiches have a 7-day shelf life.
Yeah.
So I had to go get creative, and we packaged the proteins, the marinated proteins that we use to not use meat in our sandwiches. We marinate the protein to make it taste
Yeah.
like chicken or meat. So we packaged those, we froze them, and we said, okay, you don't want to distribute sandwiches. Here's a frozen product. It has 6 months shelf life. Please get us in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that meeting, they said, you won this time because, okay, yes, we will distribute your products, but now that we have your brand, they're going to ask for the sandwiches. So can we work something out? And luckily enough, it was very easy to work with the distributor. I know I've heard a lot of horror stories with misunderstandings and logistics. So they said if we send you the orders per store and you prepare the boxes as is, and we just have to put them on the truck so it's delivered, we'll be able to do that so that we don't manage the sandwiches. And
Yeah.
we do per order. So every day we have sandwich production. We make enough for the order, not more, so that we don't have any waste.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's how we started.
Okay.
Of course,
And do they help you? So they're in charge of getting you in the stores, and they're in charge of distributing to all these stores. So you
exactly.
just give them, your relationship is with them.
With
That's all.
them, of course, distributors have to represent a lot of brands. So you shouldn't just give your products and think that you're going to make it big. It's not true. Each
Yeah.
salesman has so many brands to present.
Yeah.
But you have to go and sell to the stores and say, you know what, we work with this distributor. It's going to make your life easier. So just place your order with the distributor and they deliver it. But there's no
Yeah.
secret recipe where you give your products to the distributor and they get you everywhere. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is more like the wholesale
Yeah.
part of your business. When you also sell everything on your website, and as you mentioned, you had the Marché 57 where you used to also sell direct to consumer.
Yeah.
What's the main difference that you find between, selling direct to the consumer and selling to those big corporations?
Oh, for me, selling direct to consumer is so much easier. When it was direct to
Okay.
consumer, I knew exactly how to do my marketing. But then when B2B came into the game, I'm like, I have no idea how to market anymore. I have no idea where to market so that I can get, their attention. It's very
Yeah.
different. You're not going to find them on Facebook or Instagram. You have to learn how to market on LinkedIn. You have to learn how to do email campaigns, etc. So
Yeah.
it's not easy.
It's some people might argue that it's better to sell like larger quantities than selling one product at a time or like a couple of products and ship them to people. And you're saying it's much easier direct to consumer. So you're like, so different than the others.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the message that you're gonna share and the channels, I think it's easy for direct to consumer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. To market
the
mainly,
market.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So tell me a little bit more about working with your mom.
Okay.
How, like, I worked with my dad back in the days, more than 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
I sort of know the dynamics between parents and
Yeah.
kids, which is why I'm curious about how do you do it?
It takes a lot of patience on both of us, or both of our parts,
Mm-hmm.
of course. There are days where we want to strangle each other and we don't see eye to eye. And then there
Yeah,
are days where I'm like, if I did this with anybody else, I don't think I would have survived it. You know, it's your mom, so you're able to take your frustration out without her getting mad
yeah,
at you. She
yeah.
understands you better. I'm sure I
Sure.
drive her nuts, but I wouldn't change it. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
someone else, I'm sure we would have strangled each other by now. We wouldn't have
Yeah,
been able to make it so long. And we know each other, we understand each other. So before I even say something, she knows and she makes the change, or
mm-hmm.
dynamics of
Mm-hmm.
our relationship is better.
Yeah. If you have new ideas, do you have like resistance to
It used
that?
to be, but I think I proved that
Mm.
I know my consumers and I know my market, and she needs to trust me. And she comes
Yeah.
up with new ideas as well. Like all the recipes are
Mm-hmm.
hers. I am not great in the
Yeah.
kitchen. I'm a businesswoman. She is very good as a cook. So we have
Yeah.
our own
Yeah.
things to do in the business.
That's a good balance.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, you are one of the rare, I don't know if it exists, like one of the rare companies who have Mediterranean food or sort of Lebanese slash like food from that area, like shawarma, shish taouk, falafel, like all of those, this type of food. While I see a lot in the market burgers and
Mm.
more like Western, if I may say.
And the
So
ready to
there's like
eat, you
a
mean?
yeah, in the ready to eat. So there's like a very niche thing that you found and you're making it vegan, but people from that region, they love to eat the real shawarma and the real shishtau and the real meat. So they have to do their barbecue every Sunday. You know how it goes. So what type of clientele are you targeting? Like, do people from the Middle East or the Mediterranean buy your products, or is it more
Yeah.
Westerners? Is that the right word? Yeah.
Local people. Um,
Local people, yeah.
Honestly, when we started, it was a big trend. Everybody was trying to be
Mhm.
vegan because of healthier options and eating less meat and animal products for animal welfare, whatever their reasons were.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, recently we've seen that it has been going down. It's not a trend anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
Um, my clientele used to be a lot of local people, not Mediterranean. In fact, when we first did the switch from full meat restaurants to vegan restaurant, a lot of our customers came in and said, "You guys are crazy. You're closing in the next few months."
Mhm.
So there's
Yeah.
this perception that if it's vegan, it's not good. That if it's vegan, it's not healthy, etc., etc. The vegetable protein that we use is only made of pea and fava bean concentrate and salt. It's only three ingredients. It doesn't have soy. The
Yeah.
vegetables that we use are fresh vegetables. The sauces are made in house, so we don't use anything foreign in our recipes.
Mhm.
And we try to explain that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Middle Eastern people who actually eat plant based, to our surprise.
Yeah.
And it has evolved and changed during
Mhm.
those last years. But there's still a misconception of vegan is just not
Yeah.
good. You know,
Yeah.
if you go into the grocery store and you look at all the ready to eat, let's say burgers, meat burgers, or hot dogs, or whatever you look at the ingredient list and it's full of stuff that you cannot
Yeah.
even pronounce, but because it's meat,
Yeah.
nobody looks at it, they think, oh no, it's meat, it's safe to eat. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
our product is very limited ingredients, it's all made by hand, it's the
Yeah.
protein plus spices, there's nothing else. So there's a lot of education still in
Mm-hmm.
2025 about the subject of what plant-based means. I'm sure everybody has recipes in their own culture where there is no meat, no butter, no
Yeah.
milk, you know, and especially during Lent.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Sure. Yeah.
have Lent and they remove all animal products from their diet during that time. But when you say the
Mm-hmm.
word vegan or plant-based, they associate it with unhealthy. So
Yeah.
we are looking into rebranding actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about marketing and everything, and it's a big job to do a rebrand, but I feel like
Yeah.
every time we go to a festival, just by looking at 57 vegan, they just walk away.
Mm.
They don't want to approach us because they're afraid of the word vegan. Let's
Oh, yeah. Interesting,
Yeah.
actually. That's
Yes.
very interesting.
You know, we were at a show where it was for daycare.
Okay.
And they were there to look at alternatives, meat alternatives, because of course meat products are very expensive now. And it's not, we know that it's not healthy to eat meat or chicken every day, and we need to have alternatives to the animal product. And even though they were there and they were looking for alternatives to animal products, they were seeing the word vegan and just passing by until we say, come try,
Mm.
look, this is an
Yeah.
alternative. We only have three
Yeah.
ingredients, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
I think a rebrand is necessary so that we can attract
Yeah.
other clients too.
Rebrand and an education. I feel like you need to highlight the fact that it's only three ingredients. Like you have to put it on the package. This is like, I'm thinking out loud now that you talked
Yeah, of
about the
course.
rebrand, because of all the other brands, there are so many brands in the market, vegan brands, I don't know what to call them, but like faux meat and faux
Yeah,
cheese and faux, like not the real product. And there, if you read the ingredients, I feel like I'm going to eat plastic or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I know.
But now that you're saying it's only three ingredients, I think it's very important. That would be your unique selling proposition, let's
Yeah,
say, to tell people, hey, listen, yes, it is vegan, but it's not plasticky like the other
exactly.
brands, but
Exactly.
we are pure, where we only have three ingredients, we're clean, etc. Maybe that will help them, like, but it's very interesting with everything that's happening on social media, also with all those health experts. People are pushing you to eat more meat, which is fine. If you want to eat meat, you can eat meat. But they're also pushing against, I don't know, this is the enemy. Seed oil is the enemy. Eggs are the enemy. The next day, eggs are not the enemy.
Yeah,
The next day, all of those things. And soy, the attack on soil. And there's always this idea that vegan products, they contain a lot of soy.
exactly.
So all of these things, I think, might have affected
Yes,
everything that's happening in the market.
yes.
I'm excited for your rebrand, and when you do it, we're gonna talk about it here again. I'm pretty sure we
Sure.
will.
For sure.
um,
Once I can finalize a name, I think the hardest part is
yeah,
finding a new name. I don't
yes, exactly. We can brainstorm later on if you want.
Yes.
Mm. Tell me a little bit more about your teams. Like, how do you manage people? Is there challenges in that area, etc., etc.?
No challenges. Honestly, we've been very lucky to have people who give our business their 100%, even though
Mm-hmm.
they are people we just meet for the job. Um, even the employees that have left us because they had moved to
Yeah.
Ontario or whichever, they still talk to us when they're in town. They still visit, so we have a very
Mm.
good relationship with our employees. And I think that's how it should be if you're working together for a very long time. And you should have a good relationship working with them. All my life, I was a manager, team leader, etc. From my first job, I have that skill to be a leader
Yeah.
and be a manager, manage teams, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And then I was thrown in this business, the food business, which I had no idea about. But the team spirit is always important. Any job that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And you become, because you're a small business and you see each other every day, so you know basically what's happening in everybody's
Exactly.
lives. And, so you become, I'm not going to say the word family because it's not
Maybe
really
it's
family,
kind of,
but
it's like your second family away from home.
yeah, yeah. Because nowadays, everywhere I see these posts about like, your job is not your family, your
Yeah,
colleagues are not your family. So I'm I'm trying to avoid that. But I I used to like, again, when I used to work with my family, the employees also were like, they're there on a daily
yeah,
basis. They know what we do every day.
yeah,
We know what they do, who had a child,
yeah.
who was getting married, all those stories, personal stories, etc. And they do become a part of your life story,
Of course.
basically.
Of course, every
Yeah,
step. I mean, every time there's a new contract that we get, we sit and we celebrate together because it's not just us. Without the employees, and the production doesn't get done, and we don't have a product to send out.
yeah.
But they're part of every step of success that we get.
Exactly. So what's next for 57 Vegan or 57 Vegan, other than the rebrand?
Yeah,
Do we
currently,
have new products? Do we have new things happening?
we're gonna start to promote a line of desserts. Actually, we have the
Hmm.
sandwiches, we have the frozen products. The frozen products are still in a very limited number of stores, so we want to get that out. With the
Mhm.
rebrand, we want to market it a lot so that it's more accessible in more points of sales. And of course, the dessert line. It's sablé cookies, and we have
Mm.
Dubai style baklava. So we need to market all those.
Yes, that's pretty interesting. And where can we find your products? Let's tell everybody so that they're able to find you.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Go ahead.
our line of products are in grocery stores in Quebec, in Ontario too now. The list is on our website. I think it's
Mhm.
not up to date. I have to update it. That's something
Okay.
I always lack time in. So on our website, there's the list of points of sales, and we also sell direct to consumer on our website. We deliver in our refrigerated car, our Kia Soul that we've customized in order to have a refrigerator
Yes.
in the back, and that itself has its story. We've had so many challenges with that. We built it custom, and every time we took the car in for maintenance, the battery died. So it's an electric car. The battery died,
Okay.
and they made us take apart our fridge and rebuild it.
Oh my God.
So our
Yeah.
refrigerated car, and we ship next day in insulated shippers for
Mhm.
anywhere else, wherever we can do next day shipping, of course, because we don't want the products to go bad.
Yeah.
And I believe we have a discount code with
Yes.
Rectified for the Rectified customers.
So exciting. How much discount do they get?
15%.
50% off. Perfect, perfect. So we're gonna link to everything. I hope there's a lot of people who love vegan food. Even if they're not vegan, you can eat
Exactly.
vegan food by the by the way,
Yes.
just to have like a variety in your diet. So whoever is interested, we're gonna link to everything in the description of the podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, and use the discount code and test it for at least once, or go to any grocery store and let us know in the comments that you went and you tried it, and
Yeah.
tell us if you like it.
It's funny. Yesterday I was driving. I had to go make a delivery downtown, and I was driving. I had my window down, and I was lost in my thoughts. I noticed a man walking by, but I didn't pay attention. And he comes to the window and he
Mhm.
says, "I'm eating this lunch." I was like, "Oh, okay,
Ah,
that's great."
that's a good feedback.
Yeah.
We love that. Thank you, Tamar, so much for being a guest on this podcast. And to all the listeners, I'll be back next week with a new episode.